Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be watching TA2000, the carry for Quest, and his Naga Siren. I would say this is his specialty hero, in with a couple of other heroes, but honestly, what's impressive to me about his Naga Siren is he doesn't mind laning into some of the counters. For instance, this game he's against a Tide Hunter, a hero that is theoretically good against Naga. The illusions do no damage to Tide after Anchor Smash. Even without Anchor Smash, a point of Kraken Shell means no damage. So Tide Hunter should theoretically win the CS battle and be able to take Naga's tower with an eventual Meteor Hammer. I will admit, I think Naga Siren against the other heroes is good, and I believe that's how Quest views the hero, and that's how you should view the hero in your pubs as well. And so as long as you see good factors within 3 to 4 of the heroes on the enemy team, I would say 4 being the special number, it's gonna be a good Naga game and are gonna be able to dominate. Alright, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the Game League website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken and really take your game to the next level, I'm going to be able to help you, because sometimes the guides on YouTube, there's either not enough of them, they're not specific, or they're just tier lists, which I know you guys love, but at the end of the day, the Game League website is going to help you get to the next level. So click the link down below and sign up. So first things first, notice how he doesn't summon his illusions on the first wave until there's last hits to get, right? He doesn't summon them immediately. And I think to some extent he might have been waiting for an Anchor Smash. You can dispel the Anchor Smash damage with your Q. From there, it's very important to be able to use the illusions to last hit, right? You have to be able to swing at the same time with your illusions and your main hero for CS and denies to get value out of Naga, as we'll see him do that to try to contest the melee creep, but it's a hard matchup and he doesn't get it. Because of the fact that he's in a hard lane, his main focus is going to be pulling a lot of creep aggro, and even pulling such extreme creep aggro that he disconnects the 2 creep waves. So he pulls it to the furthest melee creep on the right, and then pulls it again here, and then eventually will hit it. You see how he does that hit there? He hits it, and that allows him to actually bring the creep wave completely away from the wave. So if you aggro, and then aggro again, and then hit, you can disconnect the waves in these very difficult matchups. So one thing that's a little bit weird to me about TA2000's gameplay is that the first 2 items he buys are Wraith Bands. The reason why that's a little bit weird on Naga Siren is because of the fact that the armor you get from Wraith Bands is pretty wasted. Your hero has some of the highest starting armor in the game, and so it definitely is odd that he does this. I guess he just views the stats and attack speed as very efficient, but it's very common to see Naga players rush Band of Elvenskin, which is a component for treads. However, I will admit Wraithband is better value than Band of Elvenskin for the cost, and so I think that's probably the logic, right? It's just like, alright, if I'm gonna try to win the laning stage or do well in these early levels, I need as much value out of my early items as possible, and then when he has these double Wraithbands, the Anchor Smash from Tide honestly does very little, partially due to his extra strength, his extra armor, and because he can push in the wave very quickly because he has high attack speed and high agility, right? So it's pretty cool. He's almost just ignoring the Tide, which I kind of imagined you couldn't do. I didn't think you could ignore Tide Hunter, but he's doing that. He's just straight up ignoring him. Something cool as well that he does in a creep wave like this one is he splits up the illusions to make it a little bit hard for Tide to get a value Anchor Smash. The way you do this is by setting up control groups. It's not that hard, but it is something you have to learn. And you notice, right, he sends 2 of the illusions to the range creep and then sends the other 2 to CS the flag bearer. Really cool play to try to maximize CS and make it hard for your illusions to get pressure. From there, he gets off a really nice pull and only gets to range creep. I think he was going for 2 creeps there. The reason why is because that would indeed bring the wave back to him, but he's going to farm up the small camp, which is pretty good. So one thing that's good about Naga as a carry as well is if your lane is completely horrible, you can just jungle, but he's actually not doing that. He's putting a priority on getting off pulls and using those pulls to actually farm up the large camp, which is awesome, right? This is such a high value play because not only do you get a deny on one of the melee creeps, you also, as I said, farm up the entire large camp. So the Tide Hunter is doing a good job of keeping the lane back and making it a little bit hard for TA2000 to farm, but at the end of the day, he's doing fine. He's even net worth with the Tide due to the pulls, or just about even net worth, and now with 2 Wraith Bands and a Band of Elvenskin, you easily farm neutrals. So as I said, no matter how hard the lane gets, you can just really not play it. And now at this point at level 5, with 3 points mirror image and all these agility items, he's actually straight up ignoring the Tide, just using the Rip Tide, which doesn't get reduced by Anchor Smash, to push in the wave. And all of a sudden the matchup looks fine, right? He's just chilling. And so this can apply to a lot of matchups against something like an Underlord, Tide Hunter, or Doom. You can ignore all of these heroes and kind of run around them at some point. From there, he's going to farm up the back camps, and he actually decides to give his Phoenix the lane, which makes a lot of sense, right? Phoenix is a hero that needs a lot of levels, and so if you're playing with something like a Rubik 5, an AA 5, a hero that really needs their level 6, it's a great idea, or just levels in general, it's a great idea to take the deep jungle and allow them to sap up that XP, as long as they can do it safely, right? If you think the enemy offlaner is going to solo kill your 5, probably not a good idea to actually give them the lane. But after buying some treads, he's going to head deeper into the jungle here, farming up the in-between camps by the outpost, and this seems to be his farming rotation, kind of farm the back camps towards the tier 3, and then farm back towards these in-between camps, the outpost camps, let's call them. And then the key for Naga Siren is the 2-2 split. I've been saying this forever, but I'll repeat it in this video for anyone who isn't too familiar with Naga. Basically what you do is you have a control group set to your main hero in an illusion, and then a control group for the other 2 illusions. And the reason why is a lot of creep camps in Dota, such as the Centaur Conqueror, is going to stomp if you have 3 or more units. So by splitting up the illusions into 2-2, you're not going to proc any of these effects, besides that really stupid camp that slams the ground, whatever, the ogre guys. Those are pretty dangerous, and you have to micro your illusions, otherwise they will die. But yeah, he goes into the jungle, 2-2 split, farming up the deep camps, and he is off to the races. And what's pretty cool about his gameplay is that he actually never leaves the jungle. He does a pretty consistent farming pattern of farming these outpost camps, then going and farming the back camps, right? He typically will walk over to here, send illusions to the left, and run to the right, or vice versa. And he hasn't farmed any lane creeps. Like, I'm not kidding. The Phoenix is just farming top. Like, no joke. Phoenix is level 9. And I think this is a big part of their strategy, right? I'm not just saying that. I really believe it is, because he's level 9. The other supports are 6 and 6. I mean, this is unbelievable. There's no other way to put it. You have a level 9 support at minute 13. That's value and a half, right? That's such value. It's unbelievable. I'm not just saying that, right? That's crazy. Look at his net worth. He's almost the same as the enemy mid laner. And now he's even going deeper and deeper. Oh, he's blocking the Ancient with the illusion. That's cool. So he knows Tide wants to farm this up, so he blocks it. Very nice, very nice. All right, from there, he eventually makes his rotation to the Ancients. He does this at level 10. I don't know if there's a specific reason. It's not like he has Manta completed. He had Yasha and wasn't doing that, and so I can't actually give you the exact logic. Maybe there isn't exact logic, but he did start farming Ancients at level 10. It might have had something to do with map play, so obviously as Naga Siren, you want to generally avoid the enemies in the early game. It's not that your hero is useless, but you're definitely not some Chad hero. You know, in the early game, Naga Siren is not 1v9ing. That's just not what the hero does. And so you want to hit your timing. So if you think the enemy team is kind of shifting towards top, you move to bottom. If they're playing just an even map, you can just farm your top side. If they're going bottom, you go top. You know, it's pretty simple. Dodge the enemy early on. So eventually when you're playing Naga Siren and you get to your Manta timing, well, honestly, even on Manta, you don't have to play aggressive. You can farm defensively if the game calls for it, but for the most part, you don't want to do that. And the reason why is you want to start cutting waves. You want to start sending illusions past towers and cutting creep waves. What this does is it will basically put a lot of pressure on the tier 2s, and it will always make sure that if the enemy tries to take a fight in that area of the map, they will not get real map progression. Right? They will not take a tower because they just don't have a creep wave. And so as you'll see in this clip here, even deep in the woods, because of the fact that the illusions last for pretty long at 26 seconds, as long as you know where the creep wave is, for instance, it's 28, right? 18, 28. You always look at the second number. If the second number is close to 30, you know the creep wave is about to spawn. Right? So he knows that if he sends the illusions towards the tier 2, he'll meet the creep wave around the tier 2, and the enemy will likely not be in position because the Primal Beast is running down the lane to kill the next wave, and he's sending his illusions through the tier 2. And you can do that because they have such high armor, so they don't really die to the tier 2. Now, the Primal Beast makes the good play and kills off the illusions, so well done to him. That's definitely smart. But it forces your enemy to run backwards, right? Even though it is the right play from Primal, it doesn't do that much, right? Because it's like, he's running backwards. You know what I mean? He's not pressuring your team if he's running backwards. He's clearing your illusions, but he's not progressing on the map. From there, he does farm defensively to Ancients. At this point in the game, you want to play the Ancient side of the map. And, well, yeah, farm up Ancients. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's sending some illusions to mid, and actually he's going to try to take the low HP mid tower. Unfortunately, Primal Beast is the bane of his existence here, but he sees a bottom wave pushing back in, so he leaves this illusion on the Ancient camp and clears bottom. And he's actually rushing hard this game, which I think makes sense. The Orchid is good, but it's not great against a Manta Morphling. It's not good against Tidehunter at all. This guy rushes BKB. Actually, you know what? I take it back. It's a horrible Orchid game. It's really bad. Now, the reason why rushing hard is so good in a game like this as well, even though it's partially because Orchid's bad, I'm sure, it's because of the fact that the enemy team doesn't have Naga answers, right? We kind of talked about that, but like, what is the Naga answer? Undying? No. Tide? Not really. Tide can be a nuisance to Naga, but you don't kill Naga. Ench does nothing to Naga. Primal is okay against Naga. It's okay. Right? The reason why I say it's okay is the hero has to all in to do damage, and like usually you'll get backed up by some sort of Sunray or anything like a pipe from Darkseer. Okay, it's Greaves, right? Wow, he's going Ags after. No pipe this game is kind of crazy. But either way, in this team fight here, it's not like he's gonna shred them because without Orchid, it's a little hard to burst people. That is kind of the downside of this hero. Also, talents, 30 Riptide damage at 10, he took that at level 11, and then mirror damage at 15. And that also kind of makes sense just in general because it's the better scaling talent of the two. But yeah, he songs in this team fight, and part of the reason Naga is so good this game is it counters Tombstone, because you song and you can still hit Tombstone, so they take out the Tombstone, and eventually he'll progress in the fight. He goes for the Morphling, who turned into Naga Siren, and he's gonna pressure him a little bit in this fight. Nothing crazy, but just bullying him out. He gets ravaged, but he's truly fine, right? It's not like he's gonna die here, and he's got his heart regen kicking up. BZM on the Primal Beast messes up on the side of OG, and now he knows that, okay, I'm gonna focus the people I can kill. He's gonna move on to the Undying, and they're eventually gonna take him out, even through the Anchor Smash, which is why this matchup's a little rough. From there, with the heart, he's continuing to regen and can pursue onto the Morphling, bullying him out of the fight. Unfortunately, he will eventually have to sort of disengage as his Storm runs out of mana and the egg was committed, but you can tell how much of a nuisance he actually is. But I can't stress this enough, guys. If you want to be a top level carry player, what you have to do, and I can't stress this enough, I really cannot, you have to get deep into the enemy jungle and cut waves. The average coaching student I have just doesn't do this, right? And it's something I have to teach him on. You have to get out onto the map. You're generally not going to die. What is he going to die to this game? Even if, let's say, they had some sort of not theoretical Naga counter, like, I don't know, Leshrac. Even Leshrac's not killing you at this point of the game either. Most games, you're not going to die from full, right? You will not die from full, and so you can always get off Song. Now, to be fair, you want to save Song this game to kill Tombstone, okay? That is a reason not to get gone on, but at the same time, they're not going to hunt you, right? It's very likely if you know where they are and you go deep into the jungle, they're not going to find you, right? Your illusions, they're going to have to deal with the waves that you're pushing in, and so look what he's doing. Right? Sending these illusions down the wave kind of messes up here. He might actually miss the creep wave. Yeah, so he okay, he gets most of the wave, right? But then sends 2 down mid, and this is what's gonna allow you to be so farm, right? He's 1-1 and 3 to the Morphling that's 4-0 and 3, and they're the same net worth, right? I mean, that's insane, you know what I mean? And the way you do that is by cutting waves so efficiently, because you're just getting so much map for your team as well, right? The enemy team always has to move backwards, and I think this is the reason why they kind of like pairing it with something like a Storm, a hero that has a lot of mobility, and a Darkseer, another hero that has a lot of mobility, so they can move around the map, also farm up the map, and look for pickoffs with their high mobility. And I just want you guys to see the map for the side of OG. So take a look at the side of OG and their mini map right now. Look at it. Really take a nice long look at it. It is so hard for them to do anything because they're always in this position where they're just kind of sitting outside of their base. They don't know what to do. They don't have heroes that clear waves quickly, and so they're kind of just getting terrorized by Naga Siren. Even if they win a team fight, they just can't really establish any sort of map control, and that's why TA2000 is so good at Naga. He understands how to terrorize the map, and this is what happens. You don't see anything, and so your Ench kind of ventures to mid, and she dies, right? So she goes down. Then your team tries to run down bottom. They try to establish control, but Naga's gonna cut your mid wave, and she's gonna cut your bot wave, and your teammate's cutting the top wave, and it's just a disaster. And then look, this Primal Beast is like, oh, they're playing mid and top, right? Let's watch it from his perspective. He's looking at the map, right? This guy's good. Trust me, this Primal Beast is good. He's looking at the map. He's like, oh, okay, they're mid/top. I'm fine, right? He's like, I'm fine. I'll just go back to base. We got to deal with mid. But then, oh, there's a TA. I mean, there's TA2000 running through my jungle. The illusions are making them think, oh, they're pushing mid, right? Because the illusions are hitting the high ground. There was 3 illusions hitting high ground. He's like, oh, they're pushing mid. Nope, joke's on you. It's just 3 illusions, right? And now, here we go, on to the bot Rex. Primal Beast is dead. They don't really have real damage to push TA2000 away. They can be annoying. They can, bully him a little, but this is why this hero is so damn good in the right games. It's just a terrorist. Like, it just makes you feel scared at all times, right? Look here, they're trying to push out a bottom. They're going to find the jump onto the Ench. Very easy for them to find the jump because, once again, they don't have lane control, right? And they do find a good angle on the side of OG, I will admit. As here, he's going to actually pop the Manta. He's fine. the Darkseer will go down. They do kind of have to, oh, this is a great tombstone placement. Look at that tombstone placement, that's dope. But what's so cool as well, because he picked it in a good Naga game, you look in this team fight, they all in him, they're like, get him! Gets glimmered. Right, the Sunray can come out eventually if needed. The Sunray even messed up. He would have been completely fine if the Sunray was actually placed where it probably was wanted to be placed. And, it gets stuck a little bit on the tombstone, but they can't touch him, right? Like, once again, it's just a game where they can't touch him. They're Rubik with the Stolen Ravage! Oh, yes! But alright, that's going to be about the end of today's video, as the game does basically end from here. And it's just a Naga classic. I think teams really should try not to give up this hero if they don't pick answers to the hero. It just makes the map play way too hard. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace!
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!